Elmo told me he had never eaten a barley candy lollipop.
No.
For many people, barley candy is just a memory, but we found one family in a small New Hampshire town who is keeping alive the special art of candy making.
Elmo's very glad of that.
And it's delish, huh?
Very.
Delish. Well, we're going to take you and show you how this kind of candy is made in the old-fashioned way. Stay tuned.
This is good.
Once upon a time, it could be found on the candy counters of general stores and pharmacies. Some of our mothers and grandmothers even made it years ago. Yet, somewhere along the way, barley candy was replaced by a more commercial product.
People like my mother who grew up in the Depression remember it from then because it just lasted such a long time, more than any other kind of lollipop. The flavor was good and the little shapes were really cute.
Faith Alves is the owner of Dorothy Timberlake Candies. From this centuries-old home in the New Hampshire town of Eaton Center, Faith makes barley candy, preserving an old tradition that was nearly lost.
It's an old-fashioned traditional candy. It's very simple candy. It's just made with corn syrup and sugar and water and barley water.
Faith learned the business by watching her mother and company namesake Dorothy Timberlake.
It started with just her wanting to make these candies that she had as a small girl and couldn't find them anywhere.
What makes the candy so special is this, barley.
In Victorian times, children would be given barley water. It's sort of like a health food type thing. It cooks up to a harder, more long-lasting piece of candy than you would get without the barley water. It took my mom quite a few years to research the recipe and fine-tune it.
The recipe is an old and very simple one.
Just plain water. We have our own well water here. And corn syrup, pretty thick. And sugar. And barley water.
Small amounts of the barley mixture are cooked to exactly 288 degrees Fahrenheit.
If you go 2 degrees under, you have taffy, and 2 degrees over, and it tastes burnt. Doing hard candy, you want to use oils, not alcohol-based flavors like vanilla extract. You can put a ton of alcohol-based flavor, and it just comes up in the room. It smells great, and no flavor in the candy at all.
Molds are used to produce a variety of shapes and figures. What started with just 3 molds has now become a collection of more than 12,000.
The detail you won't find in other types of molds and candy. We do it by hand, individually. Anything you see here has been ordered by somebody, and we're making it up for them. The dishes have been a new thing that has blossomed in the last few years. Pour the syrup in and then rotate it around to get it to come up, or you can just pull it up into the edges of the mold. The originals for the dishes were my mom's collection. It did a mold of the dish, and then we were pouring the dishes, so they're really authentic.
The dish molds are cast in food-safe silicone. Removing the candy after it is set is a delicate task.
You have to work very carefully because the plate will break. Loosen it very slightly and then flex the whole mold, and it comes out.
Faith is proud of what her mother started more than 30 years ago. And every piece of candy made here reflects that pride.
It's really a tradition of keeping people's childhood memories alive and creating new ones. They don't care whether it's barley candy or not, but it tastes good, and it's very special. People are getting a special gift, whether they give it to themselves or give it to somebody else.